I see an awful lot of people who use gratitude as an excuse for guilt and stagnation in their lives. And this is the Freedom Club Podcast. I'm your host, Kurt Mercadante. How the hell are you doing today? Now, in this episode, I'm going to talk about the word gratitude, but I got to tell you, I am extremely grateful today. The past 2 days have been two of the most downloaded days for the Freedom Club Podcast of this year. So thank you for watching, for listening, for being a part of the Freedom Club community. I am very grateful for it. So I do want to talk about gratitude today. I also want to talk about happiness, because I think those terms are so overused in our society. Not just by gurus, but by the people who kind of have a habit of 10, 15, 20 times a day simply sharing these social media memes. Gratitude is the best attitude. Gratitude is the key to happiness. You know what? Gratitude and happiness can also be dangerous. Let's start with gratitude. I see an awful lot of people as I speak around the world, as I coach and work with people around the world, people who use gratitude as an excuse for guilt and stagnation in their lives. Oh, well, I have it better than most people in the world, or I have it better than a lot of people in the world, so I feel guilty about wanting more in my life. Oh, my parents, my grandparents had it far worse than me, so I feel guilty about wanting more in my life. You know what? Don't you ever feel guilty about wanting more in your life. And when I say want more, I don't mean hollow achievements. I don't just mean dollars and cents. I don't mean a paycheck for a job that leaves you unfulfilled. When I say more, I mean you deserve a life of freedom and fulfillment. Don't feel guilty about wanting that. And so that sense of gratitude, when not paired with a sense of forward-looking purpose, can be dangerous. Gratitude alone can turn into guilt. As I said, it can turn into stagnation. That forward-looking purpose is what has fueled human progress. People wanting more and working for more in terms of freedom and fulfillment and forward-looking purpose have changed the world. They've helped pull other people out of poverty, other people out of stagnation. That's why I often begin the show with two questions. What's awesome about today? That's gratitude. And what will make today even more awesome? That's forward-looking purpose. And one of the 5 pillars of the freedom lifestyle is clearly defining a vision for your life that pairs your purpose for living with the impact you want to make on the world. If you die in 20 minutes or 20 years, what's that 1 to 2 sentences that you would like to sum up your purpose for living and the impact you want to make on the world? And when I work with my clients, one of the biggest challenges we have in defining that vision statement is that sense of gratitude becoming a limiting belief in terms of guilt. Why am I defining my purpose when there are people suffering in the world? My parents never had a sense of purpose. I can't separate that sense of purpose from the paycheck I want to earn. And I'm not saying that money's not important. I'm a free market capitalist. But how's it working out for you now? Listen, I've built 3 successful businesses. They've all done 6 figures in year 1. I had a 7-figure agency that did not leave me free and fulfilled. And you know what? I felt guilty because of what I thought was gratitude. I have a 7-figure business, a nice house, nice cars, a beautiful family. What do I have to feel bad about? I felt guilty for wanting more. And you know what? It threatened my relationships. It threatened my mental and physical health. I had anxiety attacks, and I shut that agency down. And now I'm building something that gives me freedom and fulfillment. I'm helping others to do the same. So you got to pair that gratitude with a sense of forward-looking purpose, or it can lead to guilt and stagnation. And that is not a victimless crime, because when you stagnate, when you fail to want more in your life, when you refuse to give the world your best, it doesn't just impact you. When you don't give the world your best, you're not giving the people around you your best. Your spouse, your wife, your husband, your kids, your community. What if Mother Teresa didn't give the world her best? What if Steve Jobs, Alexander Graham Bell, the list could go on of people who were not afraid to reach for more in their lives. And again, when I say more, I don't just mean hollow achievements or a paycheck. I mean freedom and fulfillment. I mean a sense of forward-looking purpose. You have to pair gratitude with that forward-looking purpose, or it can lead to guilt and stagnation. So now let's talk about another word, happiness. I see so many people saying happiness is the goal. I hate to break it to you, happiness is not the goal. People who are simply chasing happiness can confuse that sometimes with fleeting desires, with pleasure. The goal, my friend, should be not just a life of happiness, but a life of meaning, a life of fulfillment. Because, for several years, I was deeply unfulfilled. That didn't mean I didn't have happy days when I was with my wife, my kids, when we would go on vacation. But again, that happiness was fleeting because I didn't have a life of fulfillment. Now I have a life of fulfillment. Does that mean I never have a sad day? Of course not. Shit happens. People die. People get sick. In many cases, listen, I'm building a business right now that is incredibly fulfilling to me. Are there really tough days when I feel down? Yes, but it's many of those tough days, some days in which, yes, I feel sad, that actually give what I'm doing more meaning. Sometimes the struggle, if you're struggling on the right things, can give your life more meaning. So the goal shouldn't be happiness. The goal should be a life of fulfillment, a life of meaning. Now, does that mean if you're fully fulfilled, you're going to have happy days and sad days? Absolutely. But when you have a fulfilled life, again, you have that sense of forward-looking purpose, that you feel you're doing as many days as possible what you are put on this earth to do. That's what a life of fulfillment means. And you add freedom to that, it means you have the choice to live a life of fulfillment. You have a choice to do what you want to do in the world. You have a choice to pursue that forward-looking purpose, and you can use your intellectual firepower to realize that the choices you make have a direct impact on your lot in life. So yes, I do believe gratitude and happiness can be overused. I feel that they can be dangerous. Gratitude alone can be used as an excuse for guilt and stagnation. You have to pair gratitude with a sense of forward-looking purpose. Happiness alone should not be the goal. Happiness is fleeting. Happiness can be confused with fleeting desires and pleasure. The goal, my friend, should not just be happiness. It should be a life of meaning, a life of fulfillment. So pair that sense of gratitude with forward-looking purpose. Make the goal a life of meaning, a life of fulfillment, not just happiness. These are keys to living a life of freedom and fulfillment. And this is the Freedom Club Podcast. I'm your host, Kurt Mercadante. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening.